when we retired 4 years ago and began our travels, we had a lot of expectations for what this life was like, mostly based on watching videos like this. Reality has sometimes matched, most of the time exceeded, and a few times, wow, fell short. Things are not quite what they were then. Things are different, and we are learning every step of the way.
Yeah, and sometimes you think that, the videos that you're watching from other couples are going to be exactly the same the life that you're looking for. The reality is totally different.
Plus, as time goes on, every year things change a lot. A lot of the countries that you go to are now not as welcoming, not as affordable. Things change. You got to be careful. I mean, political situations change rapidly in a lot of these countries that, are popular because they're inexpensive, but they're also inexpensive places tend to have a little more risk and instability. So be careful. That's one of the reasons we made a video about don't be an expat. Don't jump to find a place to go to unless you really know what it's like to live there. Because trust us, as people who settled in Portugal and then left after a year, it's an expensive mistake to jump into that. But this video, we're talking about expectations versus reality of the whole life of retirement, early retirement, traveling, even being an expat, and kind of give you an idea of what it's like. So hopefully you can come in a little more eyes wide open than we were.
Yeah. Also keep in mind that every year life change a lot in many ways. So hopefully this video and listening from our experience help you in your decision.
Yes.
Let's talk about the first thing. Number one is the budget.
Yeah.
We we were
Expectation, we were going to be one of those low cost, slow traveler, month at a time. Everything, it was going to be so inexpensive to go out. And then honestly, a complete mistake on our part was we went straight to the bucket list. We created this round the world trip. We hit a lot of the highlights in that first year, and just every place we went, the budgets expanded a little bit until we went crazy in Australia, New Zealand, fast traveling, renting cars, and blowing our budget up. But that's not actually the end of it. We then became expats, settled in Portugal, built a life, started thinking that was forever, and then realized after a year that we really missed the travel part. But we knew we had to be a lot smarter the second time around. So we set our budget and went back out, and we were much better at sticking to that budget that first, part of the year. And then we've seen inflation go crazy and the dollar drop in value, and suddenly our budget has grown by nearly 50% in the last couple of years. So what you expect is not often not the reality. You need to build in some cushion. You need to just plan on things happening, and that's even without any emergency spending. We've been very lucky not having like major accidents or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Always have to plan B because your expectations can be forced to change or they change no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. The second thing is you look at this life and you're thinking, oh, it's just endless vacation. But the reality is, it becomes your life, and you're really not on vacation 365 days a year. No matter, not working doesn't make it a vacation, and that's what slow travel helps with. We literally, especially the last couple of years, have been moving fairly regularly as slow travelers, and sometimes moving a little faster. And it's very much different because you have 28, 30, 35 days in a city. You're not sightseeing every day. You're figuring out your routines. You're going grocery shopping. You're getting hair, nails, doctors, whatever you need to do
have a
done.
regular life.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
just, the
living in another country.
yeah, the best part is, of course, you're not working 8, 10, 12 hours a day. And so you have the flexibility to take your time and enjoy life. But yeah, just expectation,
Hmm.
vacation, reality, it's a life, and you got to figure out how you want to live it.
Yes. Number three, we were expecting to travel most of the time in Europe.
Yeah, we were planning that whole Schengen shuffle, 3 months in, then jump to Eastern Europe and Turkey and Morocco, and but stay around Europe because we
We
love
love
Europe, and we
Europe.
still do love Europe. I mean,
Yeah.
we're currently in France right now. But what we have discovered is, it's gotten very, very expensive. The tourism boom from around the world post COVID has wildly driven up costs and resentment and crowded. The sites are just so crowded. It's Europe is just not easy for slow travel. Now, if you've got the budget for it, that won't necessarily be as much of an issue for you. But I will say for us, it's really kind of taken some of the fun out of some of the places we've gone.
Yeah.
So what we have done is we come here for kind of our vacation, our splurge month or two, and we really try to see as much as we can, enjoy as much as we can while we're here.
Hmm.
And then we spend most of the time over in Asia where we can still balance our budget and really enjoy it. And we found we really love a lot of parts of Asia.
Not just some parts of Asia, but the lifestyle that we can have living in Asia.
Speaking of that lifestyle, over in Asia, we are able to live in hotels, not just budget hotels, but luxury properties, get our status. We've gotten our status with IHG, the Holiday Inn brand, that's intercontinentals and things like that. And so we can go and spend week, 2 weeks or more on these beaches and these incredible hotels, the tropical life, and everything's taken care of, and we don't have to worry about grocery shopping or cleaning or anything else. We can just really go on that vacation style at a price that is just truly unbelievable. If you watch a couple of our videos from last year, we were in Vietnam and Thailand and stuff, spending 3,000 and less for a month. That's all in food, insurance, everything for that kind of money. It's just we couldn't beat it. Now, do we want to spend 12 months a year only in Asia? No. We do want to move around and still see other parts of the world, but it's gone from Europe to Europe. Asia is now the opposite.
And talking about that, when we, or at least for me, when I was thinking to go to Asia, I always in my mind thought there was, uh, the cities were in the middle of the jungle. They don't have any transportation.
Yeah, dirt roads and the
I
things that we
was
saw in the
wrong.
movies and stuff like that. And even if you watch a movie like Hangover, which is not that old, it's in Bangkok, which is this amazing. It shows a lot of the back roads and alleyway stuff and the areas that are for the younger folks who are partying. We're staying in the hotels right off the main BTS line, which is their SkyTrain. And I mean, these modern facilities, the malls are ungodly, beautiful. And we found that all over Asia, from Kuala Lumpur to Tokyo to Hong Kong, etc. Singapore is just stunning. They are the most modern places, and we haven't even gotten to China yet. So there's so much for us to see over there. We're very excited to keep going back there, but we will come back to Europe and other parts of the world as it works. Number four is we expected to travel just 12 months a year, gone forever, swing through the US when we felt like it. And we did that first year, and it was one, a little exhausting, and two, we kind of, because we'd been living there, we didn't miss the US, and we miss our family every day, but it's kind of like, oh, we can handle it. And now what we realized is 12 months is a big chunk of time to plan out and travel and do all
Mhm.
that for a whole year is a lot. So we now go back twice a year, which breaks up the year into these 2 6-month chunks, or 5.5, 5-month bites that are much easier to plan, much easier to deal with. Budgeting and everything else works out a lot easier for us.
Mhm.
Plus, we get to go home, at least twice a year and spend a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks with the family, and we really do miss them
Yes.
and friends.
Yeah, I really miss my friends. Yeah, it's one of those things that where when you start this life style, the expectation about how many times you can go to your country or our country, I would say,
Yeah,
um, is it's like, okay, we're gonna leave that in the side.
yeah,
Let's focus on the other part of the world.
mhm,
But now
yeah.
things really change.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Expectation, you're just going to keep going, going, going. And reality is, it's nice to get home and touch base. Do we want to move home? Do we want to go back there? God no. And I
Not
don't
right
mean I
now.
don't want to be negative like that way. I'm not saying it's not a great place, but I don't miss being there 100% of the time. I wouldn't trade for 10 months at home to go on expensive vacations 2 months a year, mostly because if we had to live in the US at this point, we'd have to work. We aren't rich. That's the reality. Watch the video we made about that. We have enough to live this life, not the old life.
Another expectation when we start this lifestyle, we were thinking that we were going just to slow travel,
Mm-hmm.
1 month at a time, in every city that we want to see or visit.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is, sometimes you have to change things here and there.
What we've discovered is some places don't necessarily deserve a whole month.
Mhm.
You run out of things to do. You've probably heard it from other people that, you know, the last week of you're kind of looking forward to the next place you're going. And so we've realized that there are places that we don't want to wait a whole month. There are other places that spending 2 months or 3 months gives us an opportunity to really enjoy a place, really take advantage of, like when we're in Asia, staying in these gorgeous hotels and just living a life that is spectacular. So, like recently, we came back here to Europe. We did not want to spend a month each in two cities in Italy, and that would be all we see. We really wanted to see a lot more. We decided that we were going to, really, expand the budget enough to be able to afford a car for half the time and really drive around all of Tuscany and see so much, and then drive around the Northern Lake area and see so much. And we didn't even get to all the places that were on our list because we ran out of days. But still, we got to see so much more, and the incremental cost above our budgeted number was really not that bad by going fast for that time. Now we are going to go to places elsewhere where we might stay a month or 2 months just because it's just easy living, and sometimes that's really nice to do.
And another expectation is that we thought that we're young enough to, feel healthy, go to do this and that, and the reality was totally different.
Hopefully not totally different, but yeah, we retired in our mid to late 50s, thinking we had all that time to really be healthy, and um, it changes so quickly. We haven't had any major accidents, we haven't been involved in
Thank God.
car wrecks or anything like
Yes.
that, but all these things just start going wrong. We haven't been diagnosed with any issues, thankfully,
Hmm.
but just you tweak a knee or an ankle, and suddenly it's weeks and even months of pain. Um, you know, Issues within your gastrointestinal and stuff crop up, and you're seeing doctors every few weeks. It just becomes one of those things where do not expect you're going to be a healthy 75-year-old out there running. If you wait that long, you might not get that kind of life retirement you want. It doesn't matter whether you want to travel or not. Just understand that, you know the expectation of I've got years and years, decades of health is not the reality. We have definitely seen a lot more. Now, the good news is that healthcare is great all
Everywhere.
over the world. You can find great
Yes.
healthcare in pretty much every country that we would go to.
Hmm.
And if you're basing it off what life is like back in the US or what you've heard about the US, the rest of the world is not like that. And it's not like we're getting free healthcare when we were in any other
No,
country.
but it's way better and cheaper.
But yeah, you have an issue, and what you might spend thousands of dollars with copays and co-insurance and your deductible and everything else in the States can literally out of pocket cost a couple $100. We have had multiple trips to ERs for deal with issues with back pain or whatever that have cost us 100, 110, $150.
Hmm.
And then we have our insurance, that covers us around the world, that is used to be half the cost of what we were paying or less in the US. With all the changes over the last year in the US with the healthcare system, we're probably at like 10 to 20% the cost of what our policy would be back in the States. The biggest issue, we just have to file the paperwork and get reimbursed. So expectation was we were going to be young and healthy. Reality is you get old quick, and it's not because we were tired and suddenly our bodies break down. It's just twist ourselves and break things more often.
Oh, you get an allergy to something, and
Yeah, you've
yeah,
never been there. You might be allergic to something.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And another expectation, we were host with Airbnb, so we understand a lot about the business,
Mm-hmm.
and we were having big expectations from the places we have gone.
Yeah, we were going to slow travel, stay in Airbnbs, stay in the kind of place that we provided to our guests. And so many of them, especially now the last couple of years, have been corporate. They're sparsely outfitted. Some places literally two plates, a few sets of silverware and glasses, IKEA furniture everywhere.
Hmm.
Really thin mattresses and stuff. And it's just been very disappointing as prices have gone nuts. Not
Yes.
only just because of a lot of over tourism popularity of certain places, but because Airbnb is raising all their fees, they're making more money off of it, so everything has gotten more expensive through it, which is one of the reasons a lot of us have moved off of Airbnb part of the time to other platforms. One of the reasons we use hotels a lot more often. So yes, we still do use Airbnbs when we're going to stay long enough.
Hmm.
But oftentimes, if we're trying to move around more often, we bounce between different booking platforms, apartments, hotels, boutique hotels. Reality is, broaden your horizon beyond I'm just going to rent a house or an apartment in every place I go, because that might not be the best way to travel that particular place. So one of the other expectations we had based on, being in the US for all those years was that, you get Amazon delivers the next day. You can run to the big stores, the malls, the markets, and get anything you want. Almost everything was available, short of needing a prescription for medications. And you just, you kind of figure, oh, we're going to these other major countries, major cities, they're going to have this. And just finding basic, medicines or just over the counters has been difficult in some countries, certain shampoos and things. Just,
Yeah, and even the I was expecting to get my medicine, a medicine that I have to take every day, in the level or the milligrams that I'm supposed to take. Oh no,
no.
over here they just give you the minimum.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. A
I
fraction
was,
of it. And you're just like, you can't take 6 of them a day or anything. But yeah,
yeah,
it's good. It's one of those, reality is every place you go has different rules about products they can sell, what's available.
medicine.
Obviously they have to import a lot of this stuff, so it gets outrageously expensive in certain places. Other
Mhm,
times you can buy the stuff that is ridiculously expensive in the States for pennies in other countries. A lot of the medicines are available for $2 and $3 over the counter that we spend $50 for a prescription back in the States. So it
mhm.
goes both ways. So just know that reality is going to differ when it comes to the products you like, whether it's food, medicine, shampoos, cosmetics,
Mhm.
whatever. Thankfully, my makeup routine is pretty small.
So finally, one of the things that I never saw coming is feeling some days like I miss my routine. I
Mhm.
used to, get up, take, eat breakfast, go to my job. After that, go to the gym and all that. And I'm not regretting at all, having this life.
No.
But it's just that some days you just miss the routine,
Mhm.
the I don't know how you call that.
Don't miss the
The
commute, though.
no,
That
not at
part
all.
of the routine we could leave out. Yeah, there's
Yeah, but I don't know. They're doing the same thing every day.
absolutely. This routine, you have to make it every month, which means you have to learn a new thing every month, usually, and sometimes less than a month. Like here in France, we've been in 3 different cities, so we have to learn bakeries and cafes and grocery stores in each place. So it is different. It is a challenge. It is a different way of living, but the expectation was just like, oh yeah, we'll just have a new, it's this other life that we're going to live. And you have to get yourself to go to the gym. You have to get yourself to go do these, other activities and stuff. It's really easy to kind of just kick back in the lounge chair and sit by the pool, or you know turn on Netflix and watch a whole bunch of episodes.
Yeah, but the reality is that some places doesn't have available also those things that you used to have.
So that lack of routine actually leads us into the next one that we didn't even think about, was this lack of familiarity, because every place is new unless you go back to the same place over and over, which is why most people do that for their vacations. But we go to a new country, a new city. We used to do it almost every month. Now it's every few months. And you have to figure everything out. And train systems are different. The way the cards,
Hmm.
that you have to buy work, the way the machines work. Everybody, for some reason, has to buy different machines, different software, different tickets for the trains and stuff. Everything's different, and so it's a challenge. It's fun. It's intellectual. It's frustrating when you make them get on the train the wrong direction
Yeah.
twice. Um, so there's all these things that you end up, you know, figuring out. But just understand, like, you are going to be lost the first couple of days most everywhere you go. So fun, yes. Take it as a challenge, yes. Be prepared to get a little frustrated. Give your spouse a little bit of understanding.
And now, the biggest thing that we were, having in mind is being together 24/7. Some days is a challenge.
Yeah,
It's not a honeymoon all the time.
just
So
most of the time, right? Right, honey?
yes. But some days you just need your space. You
Mm-hmm.
just need to go and do something by yourself. Go to do the manicure, pedicure, go to the mall to shop. And anyway,
Yeah,
find something to do, just you.
yeah. And we don't need it every day. We do spend most days all day together, but that's also a reason we have found that we need to rent. one bedrooms, separate living room places. We simply can't be on top of each other and all of our luggage and our computers out and everything else in one room. Studios just don't work for us. Other people, but yeah, the expectation we just didn't have. We didn't really think about that 24-hour a day togetherness. Now, thankfully, we love each other and we're having a ball 99% of the time. 1% of the time is still several hours a week. So just think about, what would you like to do when you have to get away, or, whether it's go to the malls, go on the walk on the beach, go take a run, gym, whatever it is you do. You don't have to do everything together. Now, the good news is we do love doing most of it. We haven't gotten to the point where we need to take vacations from each other. In fact, the one time that we had to go separate ways, we didn't like it at all.
Yeah, so the expectation there, you have to keep that in consideration.
Mm-hmm. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. We just want to kind of put out there again, it's like, what is this life really like? Help people understand it, because I know millions of people are thinking maybe they want to leave the US, maybe they can't afford to retire in the US. They're looking at some of these other places in the world, and it's scary to think of, I'm going to pack everything up or just throw everything in a backpack and go fly off to the other side of the world to try to figure life out. That's why we advise at least start with travel. You don't have to travel full time. You can travel for a month or 2 months or how many months you think you can handle. You can always change your flight and go home. Really, this life is a great life, but experience it and get used to it. And if you watch a few videos that help open your eyes before you get into trouble, that's a good thing too. So, again, I'm Peter.
I'm Elena.
Channel is Retire Everywhere. We just want to share our experiences with you guys. So hopefully, if you get the opportunity to do this, is something you are interested in, you might be a little more prepared for it than we were when we started. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye bye.